Hi, and welcome to the Brisbane Professionals Podcast. This is a podcast brought to you by SMS Law, going through the legal secrets that will benefit you and your clients, as well as having a little bit of fun as we go. This podcast is designed to educate you on number one, complicated legal terms that we will explain in an easy to understand manner. Two, to understand why you do things from a legal perspective in your business. And three, to help you develop a plan for the future success of your business. Our mission is to help empower small to medium-sized businesses around the world to get access to legal advice so that they can help build their communities and make the world a better place. Did you know that any business owner is on average 7 months away from losing everything? That is the average time that it takes from a successful business to fold when an aspect of their business is not set up correctly. This podcast is all about empowering you and your business with knowledge and tools to ensure that that doesn't happen to you or to your clients. Let's begin, shall we?
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Brisbane Professional Podcast. My name is Craig Mason, and I have with me Jeremy Stratton.
Thanks, Craig.
My best boxing introducer thingy that they do.
Are
Should
we
come up with
asking
nicknames.
to get ready to rumble? Is that what we're waiting for?
Yeah, that was the thing. We should have nicknames, I think. Anyway, moving right along. Today we're talking about investors into your business. Plenty of things to think about when you're deciding on that. Exciting, I guess. It's going to bring some money in and some experience and things like that, but still a lot of things to consider because there are many ways to do it. And with that, there could be some pitfalls along the way. So plenty of things to think about. And just having a clear understanding at the beginning is critical when it comes to this. So, Jeremy, what is it when you're talking about investor, about their role, how they're going to get returns and those sorts of things?
Yeah, I think this comes back to something that I see in the business coaching world all the time, and that's you've got to work out what your goal is in everything that you do, whether it's starting a business, whether it's expanding to a new premises, and it's especially true when you're bringing in an investor. What's the goal of bringing in the investor? What are you trying to achieve? But also, what are they trying to achieve? What do they want from their investment? Where do they see themselves as going with this investment, and where do they hope to get to with it? And really making sure that you understand their goal and that they understand your goal, and that the two actually work together and that they don't butt heads with each other. So you've got to make sure that you've talked that out and you understand the goals of each person, and then from that you come back to what's the role of the investor. What's the investor going to do in the business? You can have passive investors who do nothing in the business except just provide you money and the odd bit of advice, or you could have someone who comes in and actually runs the business with you, who could be a CEO or a COO or someone actually in doing the work. So you've got to talk that through, and that all comes from the goals. It all comes from what everyone's trying to achieve. So sit down and work out what those expectations are. And as I said before, do it separately first. Talk about it separately first, and then come together and make sure that you're aligned with what you want to do. So that's the really important part that so many people get wrong when they talk about investing, Craig. Do you want to talk about the different legal mechanisms that can be used?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, you need to look at these carefully before you make a decision and engage your advisors before you sign off on it. So there's a few ways to bring in an investor. One might be by selling shares in the company that you have, or a percentage of the business to the investor. So they get something in return for the investment money. If you're going to do selling a share, for instance, then we would be encouraging everyone to enter into some form of agreement, and that would be a shareholders agreement in most instances, where, as the title indicates, an agreement between the shareholders. And it's not all doom and gloom in the shareholders agreement. It's about setting the parameters for the shareholders going forward about what sort of decisions can be made, what's the percentage of votes and those sorts of things. So definitely something you'd need if you're going to sell a share. Is the investor going to become a director in the company, for instance? So important to think about that beforehand and come to an agreement, whether or not they're going to be a director or they're just going to be a shareholder. And obviously there's implications when they're directors about decisions they could be making, or buying in the company and those sorts of things. So make sure you think about that as well. You might think you're not selling shares in the company. You might do a partnership between, say, your company and the investor entity through, say, a joint venture. Again, you'd want a joint venture agreement or a partnership agreement to just govern the relationship between the parties and how it's all going to work. And that's a way that, say, the joint venture partner might be bringing in a property, for instance, or something like that, and you might be a property developer. Say they might have the property, and you might develop the land or build a house on it or whatever it might be. So you see a lot of that in property type businesses, but you could do it for other things as well. And then the more traditional way is the seeking of a third party loan to assist in the expansion of your business or whatever it might be you need the money for. So that will be that they won't normally take shares or anything in the business, but they are going to take some form of security over the company or the business. So if they don't get paid for some reason, they'll have a recourse against you to get the money. And if it's a bank, it's likely that you as a director may end up having to sign what's called a personal guarantee. So plenty of things to consider there when you're bringing in an investor. Exciting to get the money in, but there are some other things that you've got to think about to make sure the relationship prospers from there. So that's choosing an investor and the sorts of ways you can incorporate it into the business. As we said, you need to get a clear understanding of all of this before you embark on it. Get the right advice. Talk to your advisors. It's not the time to sort of do it on the back of a serviette. Definitely get some agreements and advice along the way. Jeremy, that's it. Anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think that's covered it comprehensively for everyone.
Indeed it has. We must have planned it that way. Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us. And if you do like the podcast, which we are assured that you do, please rate and review the podcast. All 5-star reviews are welcome. Like us on Facebook, that's SMS Law. Follow us on Twitter. Search for us on LinkedIn. Connect through those platforms. Yeah, drop us a line, say hello, ask a question. We really want the community to get together and talk about business and the professionals within it. So thanks for joining us.
See you next time.